The music industry is overly complicated for no reason. I'm going to give you the truth about everything you've ever wondered. What I'm saying is, I'm going to give you so much important, transformative, and transferable insights. Obviously, the serious ones will stay because they care about their music career. And what I'm about to say, let's go. To you as an artist to artist, I'm an artist as well. And what I've experienced in my lifetime of being a music artist and now adapting to the role of still a music artist, but adapting to the role of a consultant that can help music artists along their journey, because I have 25 plus years of experience, of lessons and fuck ups and all the stuff that people need to know that will help them. And you don't have to make the same mistakes as a lot of artists. You don't have to make the same mistakes I made. You don't have to wonder if what you're doing is right. You picking the right distributor? Are you tripping that you want to get signed to a label in 2026? Are you comfortable enough to sit in poverty because you sacrificed everything for music? And is that okay? And eventually, do you need to stop doing that? Hardest industry in the world. My main field of interest people are going through and struggles that we don't really often hear about that prevent them from living their best life because they make a permanent decision in a temporary hardship. This is a raw thing. I'm just going to give you the raw because you need to know. So musicians are 3 times more likely to kill themselves than people in other industries. Now, that's a fact because it's so much pressure in what we have to go through being a musician. Why is that? Let's back it up a little bit. This is a business. When you're doing music and you make music, that's making music. When you add business after music, it's the music business, and it's no longer doing music. Now it's making music for profit. And then when you add the industry, that's making music for profit. Capitalistic, profit-driven infrastructure that owns you. Do business as a business person to survive in industry like any other business. Investor, sponsorships, promotion, merchandising, publication, commercials, all kinds of stuff. This is no different than any other business. It's something that is not as tangible as a product that you would make in a factory, like a new shoe. You can feel a shoe, you can put on a shoe, design a shoe, and just boom, you just have a shoe. Music is something you're making from air, thoughts. It's a longer process to establish a physical product in this reality because it's coming from your head, and the structure of music is mostly coming from your thoughts. When you're creating a shoe, there is an environment that supports the creation of that shoe. With your thoughts, you need mind state to support the creation of a song and be able to dictate your vision to others to help you bring it to life. So you go and you record a record. You got to find the right producer to make the beat or make it yourself, the right engineer to mix and master it or do it yourself, and the right microphone, the right studio. These things are not difficult, but it takes a while to decide if you're comfortable with what you're working with. Are you comfortable with the type of people that you're working with? Can they help facilitate your sound? Often in music, you'll find somebody, maybe a certain engineer or producer that you'll work with for years. You look back through that experience, you find out what kind of sound you like to make. You find out how you like to work. You find out your temperament when it comes to certain things, what you can tolerate and what you can't. Running back the same bar or verse or word for the perfect take. And maybe that's what's being requested of you from the producer or engineer to get the sound that you want. It's tedious. It's long hours of no sleep. It's getting up in the morning and doing it again. It's endless practice. If the passion is there, and that comes with pain, the passion is there, it'll push you, bring you forward in the moments that you need most, up to the artist that you are now and currently becoming, if it's real. We've been talking about business. You've been listening to podcasts about business, how to make money, and how we'll get to that. If you can't eat the pain that comes with the industry, then you won't get to the profit. The industry is filled with devils. I'm not saying mythical devils. I'm not saying monsters. I'm not saying reptilians. Most music distribution in the world, these big labels, Universal, Warner, Interscope, whoever the fuck, I'm not just saying that. I'm well studied. I've been around. I get it. And when I tell you that the industry is run by devils? Most artists know that. They may not say it like this, but look at disgruntled once or famous artists in the music industry. Listen to their interviews and how they talk. It's a frustration of being on the edge all the time, and that's not normal because your career and you as a person constantly getting pulled apart in infinite amount of directions because there's that many problems to deal with. That's not normal. You don't treat people like some kind of robot, money-making dispensing machine that you squeeze dry of talent or work production, and that's what the industry does. But we don't have to get into that part now. You see the endless hours that your icons have put into being a famous musician. Is that something you want to do? Here is how you can make it simple for yourself. Put that notepad and beat away. We're talking. What kind of history do you want to make? What is it that you want to say? Why do you want to say it? And will you die for it? Here's why you need to answer those questions. If not now, pause the video. And if you can answer them now, do it. If not, come back to it. Remember this part in the video. You need to answer those questions is because understanding the type of history that you want to make is going to determine if you're going to commit yourself to making it. Everybody wants to be remembered, but how do they want to be remembered? Artists have a little bit more on the ego. You need something bigger than that to propel you forward. Essentially, making music, rapping, singing, anything with vocals is you talking, you saying something, and you want the world to hear it. Egotistical thing. It's not bad. It's just egotistical. It's a big thing. Hey, I have something so important I think I have to say. I want everybody to hear it. Now, that's something you're going to get paid for. So what kind of history do you want to make? You base your answer mostly on what you want to say. Essentially, that's going to create the history that you make. Now, why do you want to say it? Why is that the legacy that you want to lead forward to the world to see? It has to be a cause bigger than yourself. It just has to be. Pulls you out of the bullshit that you experience in this industry to make it to the next step. Die for it. The reason I say will you die for it is it's almost irrational to say that. But it's not, because you're going to die anyways without knowing it through an accumulated amount of time. It's just unnoticeable because all of the major things in life and turning points are in small increments, but they lead directly to another. What we're talking about is what you have to say, the history you need to make. Is it enough importance to you to do it until it's your time to leave this place? Because that would entail you have incredible amount of energy, humongous belief behind that energy that gives power to your movement, will sustain your momentum and bringing in the type of success that you want happen, especially something like music, because it takes that kind of energy in business, period. Making a product, getting good on a new CRM platform to structure data in the way that's accessible, utilized by your company for business marketing decisions. Then they get paid or notoriety. They get something and it makes them want to keep going, right? If you're an artist and you're listening to this, you're highly sensitive to energy. You want to be in control of your destiny. You want to be felt and heard and understood the most. You want things to go your way. Because you're an artist, because that's what it takes for the world to hear what you have to say. Very penetrating type of attitude that you have. In a world where being looked at, being a musician, and not commercially known, easily recognizable musician, rapper, singer, you get looked down on, almost like you're a bum or you're trash. You'll make it, sure, buddy. See you at McDonald's flipping patties. Make my fries piping hot. Pause. Put a cherry on that milkshake. Put down that fucking microphone and guitar, buddy. And then you blow up and everybody wants to be on your nuts. Or you make it successfully doing what you do. Cruising the road, touring city to city, having a good time. You have to put your own battery in your back to propel yourself. Because there's going to come a point where you realize it's an immature field of existence. It takes almost a playfulness to make music. And that's not necessarily a mature thing. To make playfulness pay. Listen, I'll give you an example. Eminem, currently, he goes to the studio as if it's a job, 9 to 5. He'll go from 9, take a lunch break at 12, clock out at 5. Maybe he didn't always do that, but he does that now. But he's making what he does pay so he can play. His passion, his interest is making music. So he's not necessarily working. It don't feel like work, because musicians, we know, we can stay up all night and write a song, rehearse, and get up the next day for another 12 straight hours. But put us in front of a fucking desk and tell us to make calls for customer service or some sales bullshit. Want to shoot yourself in the head. But exerting all of this energy out of your brain, figuring out the answers of all existence and finding the spirit inside of your soul and articulating melodies that's never been heard before by the ears of man and woman. It's something that you can do in your sleep. It takes a lot of fucking energy, way more than making sales calls. Where does that come from? Why do you want to do that? This is something that just is. We want to know if it's what you really stand for. If it's a fleeting feeling that you get when you make music, it's a hobby. Or is it something that you would die for? Because if it's something that you would die for, it doesn't matter if you make money from it or not. And belief you have to have in what you make as music. Because if you would make music broke, no matter what the circumstances are, then that's good to know. Because ideally, you don't want to make music and be broke. Because you still have to eat and pay rent and live. We just find this out as we go along. Because real passionate people that make music make often irrational decisions. And we find comfort in the fuck ups that we do along the way. And that doesn't feel good. I said the statistic to look this up, but it's higher than what it should be. When I did a current study, the third or fourth profession with the highest suicide rate in the world, being an artist. According to ASCAP, 73% of artists are bipolar. That's a lot. It's not a small number. That's something we have to work on as an industry, and that's something that labels need to do. When it comes to the health of the artists they work with and sign, putting on their label to make sure that they are okay and stable so they can continue making music for the rigorous circumstances they signed them for. You started making music as a child or a kid. You heard a beat one day, you started putting words to it, started singing to it. You picked up that instrument and you couldn't put it down. You felt the love for this. Music is needed in the world because you see it everywhere. Soundtracks to movie, the kids playing it in the band at school, marching to the drums and instruments and the trumpets and the saxophones and the violins. And you see it on TV and you hear it on the radio and you stream it on Spotify. Obviously here, obviously like that. And you want to do that. There's evidence that you can make a living off of doing something like this. But the missing part of this all is nobody gives you the bridge for the understanding of crossing from music as fun to music as business. Because remember, it's a playful thing and it's something that grows on you and you grow with. You wake up one day, like most artists, 35, 40, I really like doing music. That's evident because everything else in your life is fucked up, so unstable. You thought you could make music like the music that you've heard on the radio and seen on people play on TV all your life. You thought you can do that. And you thought it was easy because it was so accessible to your eyes to see. So you thought it was easy to accomplish. But the bridge from getting to that reality from where you currently are was never showed to you. When you go to school and you become a doctor, you go to medical school. They give you the tools, they give you the books, they give you the information, the instructors to help you become a doctor. When you go in the army, they're going to train you. They're going to see your physical fitness. They're going to test your mental abilities. They're going to help you accomplish success in these tests to even move forward. If they believe in you, they're going to show you how to stand at attention. They're going to inform you when you need to get up, when you need to do your chores, when you need to fight, how to break down your weapon, how to shoot it, what to do next, step by step, or you'll die out there. When you go to be a lawyer, you study for the bar, you study all the books, you study the law inside and out, so you don't die out there. But in music, who helps you study what? You die out there, and everybody sees you go. Why? You didn't think of that, did you? It's a big problem. bigger than you know, but you don't have to participate in the problem, but you need to know it's there. How come there's no school for this stuff? You heard of Musicians Institute. They don't help. In neurolinguistic programming, we say the map is not the reality, right? Google Maps, it'll tell you how to get from point A to B, but you didn't know somebody had an accident in the middle. Halfway there, you gotta wait an extra 20 minutes to get to your destination. The map is not the reality. It's always different when you read it in a book in school, when you try to apply the principle you learn reading in real life. The music industry is like that. It's so dramatically different than what you can ever read it to be able to scary, make money in the industry. That's the easy concept to understand. It's just like any other product that you have to sell. You have to sell your music. It's a must to keep business afloat. But why you do music is so important and not talked about enough. Are you this thing that can maintain the standard of sanity to make it in the industry that is insane to begin knowledge? Knowing if you're that, that'll give you power to determine how you want to move forward now from here, because you have to know what you're setting yourself up for. When you know this, it's not going to matter what anybody else thinks. It's big ego, right? And it wants the world to know you exist. You and your thoughts exist. The big thing that you're doing. Now, that's almost irrational to want to be heard amongst all of the things that everybody else is talking about. But you think you can do it differently. Okay. You're in a savage pit of other people that want the type of success that you want and will fight you to the death to get it. That may not be the reality of it, but that's how it's framed market-wise. There's enough room and abundance for everybody. But insofar as on the front line of moving competition out of your way, you have to have some edge about yourself and some grit, viciousness about yourself to break into the industry, because that saying exists for a reason. Break into the industry and then hold yourself to the standard of what got you there to stay there and move forward appropriately, right? You will suffer to some extent in the industry, period. The third or fourth profession in the world of suicide, and 70% of artists are bipolar and of challenges goes on. Musicians aren't exactly normal. We have all kinds of quirks and all kinds of bullshit to deal with. We got to know that talent we carry or what we have to say, it has to outweigh all that. Then you can proceed. Are you that important? Is what you have to say that impactful? Is your existence for everyone to see that needed? Is the success you want, is it something that has to be known? Because there's artists making music behind the scenes, doing soundtracks and synchronization deals and all kind of stuff you'll never hear about and you'll never know exists, but they make a living off music. So taking that to account, there's other ways you may not be aware of. Now you can look into it. It doesn't always have to be in front of a camera. You may not like making content for 20, 30, 40, 50 hours a day, trying to get the perfect clip or reel so you can put on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and promote it to all your social media platforms. You may not like getting approached by fake A&Rs on Instagram, sending you a message that they need $200 to potentially get you a record deal with Interscope so the world can hear you. Bullshit. You may not like people criticizing your music because it currently sucks. It will get better, but it sucks. And people let you know that comment after comment. That's the stuff you don't care about when you're so focused on your passion and believe in yourself so much. But don't be foolish about it. You still have to be open to constructive criticism. You still have to be open to hearing something that's not even true about yourself. You still have to be open to being offended. You still have to be open, because unlike most products that are built that people experience and get to kind of, they determine if they like the product, music, it hits the ear in a couple seconds, and people in a couple seconds tell you if you're trash or if you're a god, or if they're just confused because they don't know what the hell's going on with what you're making. So you get an instantaneous response on something that took you a lifetime to build. Even if you're good, being able to handle somebody telling you you suck and take that and eat it, like that's necessary. You had to go around and say, hey, listen to me, hear me. So you have to take what comes with that, the praise as well as the put downs. And like Gary would say, he doesn't listen to both. He doesn't listen to compliments. He doesn't listen to disrespect. Smart. So nothing affects him. He's running off his own engine. You have to do the same. Then the business happens. This is a lot to think about. Get back to me. Let me know your thoughts on this. You can hide from the truth of everything you're going through, unique challenges that you have. The music industry doesn't have a 1-800 number that can tell you that this manager is real, that this A&R won't fuck you over, that this record label that approached you, if they're legitimate, that this distributor is going to take your first CD offline because they didn't know you shouldn't drop your album with United Masters because it was free the first 2 years, but had no idea they'll take it down if you don't pay a fee 3 years later. And that's your most streamed album, making you the most money. You should have kept your ISRCs for the songs that you made, and you can do that if you purchase them in bulk in the beginning of your career for the cheapest you'll ever get them over a lifetime. So you can go to distributor and not worry about losing the information that each song has accumulated through a period of time because you met a distributor that has a better deal than the last one. And most artists will switch to 1, 2, maybe 3 in average in their career, independent, major, or otherwise. There's a lot you need to know. And there's a lot I know you want. It's easily given, but you need to understand why you're doing music. Nobody's ever talked to you like this before because the conversation's never been necessary, but it is now. And it's never been brought to you like this before, but it is now. You got work to do.